Good morning, Sagittarius. As promised, we are going to be doing some Mercury and Virgo energy today because all of these transits are really important, especially now when it's, really involving so much retrograde energy. And, pretty soon at the end of the month, I think it's at the end of August, Mercury will also be retrograding. We'll have like 6 or 7 planets retrograding at this point. And so, it's it's important. And, Mercury in Virgo really deals with ways of thinking and speaking, particularly communication, because Mercury is very comfortable in Virgo. So you may find actually that your communication, you may be really reorganizing the way you communicate to make it more productive. And just, Virgo, of course, is about structure, right? And so we are really looking at the way we think, the way we communicate. And so we're taking a look at some things, but there's also this possibility of being critical. And so, if Virgo is critical, you want to be very careful about that, right? So we're going to take a look at some themes that might be coming up for you during this transit. I'm not even sure how long it is. I'm not sure, but I was looking at this and I was like, Sag. This is where I give you Sagittarius the what for. But it's always for your best good, right? So first quarter, this is your message from Mercury and Virgo. Okay? They want to talk to you, Sag, and here's what they're saying. First quarter moon in Cancer, push through any insecurity. Full moon in Scorpio, breathe through the tension. And new moon in Sagittarius, focus on the positive. I felt a couple of things could be going on here, Sag. So of course with Scorpio there's sexual energy, right? It's spicy. But with Cancer, Cancer is like, this is about self-doubt. So, there could be a relationship here that you're having a hard time seeing in a positive light. Maybe you think you're being blinded by sexual feelings, like letting sex affect your feelings. And there may be this I kind of really feel this sense of letting your own self-doubt stand in the way of it working out. And it's really essential at this time that we speak life, right? And it may actually be blocking your positivity. Like, you're supposed to just believe that things can work out. But this could be just an overall sense too of you needing to let go of any self-doubts, especially if there's something you want to go after. Because new moon in Sagittarius is, go for it. We don't need to know everything right now. We'll learn as we go. And I feel like that is, what might be circling. So whatever it is for you, there's kind of this doubting that you can do it. Doubting that, kind of like you might feel like you don't see something clearly, that you're blinded by something. And this comes from a sense of believing you can't do something. I don't know what that is, but you're being called to push through it. Believe you can do this, Sagittarius. And believe that you have clarity. You know what's what, right? You know what's what. So let's get into the other things. So particularly details you need to be aware of, okay? I feel like we're seeing the same thing. 8 of Swords, and the Eight of Cups with the Eight of Wands. There's something in here, and this could be particularly involving communication that comes in uh, about something, a change. And, there just seems to be this sense within you that you feel like you can't do it. So, it's also telling you that you may be looking at doing things differently. Like maybe there's not just, and I do feel like this is tied to expectations, which I feel like we are kind of flowing in this energy of seeing that there's more than one way to do things, and, you know, definitely it is calling for you to embrace whatever this change is and believe that change can happen, because you may be stuck in, the disappointment of it that prevents change from coming in. That's Eight of Swords. Eight of Swords is a trap of our own making, right? And maybe this is also communication about something, that wants to move forward, right? It wants to move forward, but it could be you saying, well, it didn't work before, but you're being called to stop these self-limiting beliefs that you can't do something or something can't work out because it didn't work before. Maybe there's just another way. And that's what you're being called to look at. Ew. Okay. So, how you may be being critical here. And I feel, because sometimes, Virgo overanalyzes, right? And of course, Virgo wants perfection and thinks, they know. I always get the sense that, it's like knowing how things should be done, right? And that's how they can be critical. Like if someone or something, if they aren't doing it the right way, and thinking that you know the right way. And, it's really interesting, because I really feel this energy here is you can be right or you can be happy. I don't know why I keep feeling this, but with the Devil, the Ace of Swords, and the Nine of Cups, you you're really being called to see a truth that you're not. You may be stuck to one truth, and maybe that's about someone being toxic. Maybe that's about, I just kind of believe that you kind of feel like you're stuck in the way something was. And, you're being called to open up to, first of all, people can change, things can change, and the truth is that, you're being called to see something in a more abundant way with the Nine of Cups, right? And I feel like you're just so afraid to go back to some sort of toxic pattern that you can't allow yourself to see that maybe it's different this time. Maybe it's different this time, and I can be right or I can be happy. You know what I'm saying? So there is really a sense of sticking to an old belief here that may be actually blocking something for you. The way in which and you may be being overly critical on someone who actually did move in some toxic patterns. But, it's also realizing, look, maybe they did, but maybe I did my part too, and maybe now I'm choosing to be happy. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So how you may be too hard on yourself, Sagittarius, is really Three of Wands. Because, this new life, this new cycle hasn't changed, hasn't come yet. It hasn't. And it's really about getting what you want, feeling like you just can't get what you want, that, you're not getting what you want, and because the Three of Wands is in that position, you want to move forward. Why can't I move forward when there's this new cycle coming in? It's kind of a, we're seeing it here with the Eight of Swords too. You may need to kind of think about how you might be preventing it, is what I'm saying. By self-limiting beliefs, by, self-doubt, by thinking there's only one way to do things. And I just feel like you may be feeling bad, and you may be really hard on yourself because you feel like you're not where you're supposed to be. But in all truth, we're always where we're supposed to be. And the Three of Wands, there's always a delay, and the delay is about details. Sometimes there's details to take care of before that new cycle comes in, before that new life comes in, before we move on to the next thing. And so I do feel like you may be challenging some beliefs that have been holding you back, particularly in terms of self-doubt and, some patterns. You are being honest here, about how there are some patterns when it comes to just letting yourself be happy, so I said what I said. I said what I said. And with the Five of Wands and the Four of Pentacles, sometimes I feel like you maybe are afraid to have the fight, which is interesting. So you may hold back because you don't want to argue. You may hold back because you don't want to have a confrontation. And this comes from a place of being afraid that people will leave. Being afraid that people will leave. But the truth is, we can't avoid conflict, and sometimes people aren't going to be, it's kind of like you believe people don't see you, so you may hold back from them. There's this big energy of holding back from people because maybe you expect them not to be on board with you. And this comes from a place of, not having people on board with you, right? So you've come to expect that. And there's so much energy here of feeling like you have to do everything yourself. And you need to stop believing that this opposition is just going to come. Believe that people will be on the same page with you, that they will see you, that you will connect with people who will help you along this journey, and that you don't have to do everything alone, right? And we've seen this energy before. Right? So, how you could communicate better. Seven of Cups, Nine of Pentacles, and the Magician. Literally seeing opportunities. Like, getting really focused when you communicate about what it is you want. And because that's what you should be putting out in the universe. And really believing that what you want you can have. Right? That you have, like, what it takes to get anything you want. And that resources isn't an issue. Like, and I feel like that might be, you might feel like that's the issue, like you don't have it. Just because you don't see it doesn't mean you won't have it. Once you believe you have it, it shows up for you. Literally. Yeah. So what's on the bottom? Knight of Cups, Two of Cups, the Tower, and Temperance. Oh, wow. So what might be coming up is that there might be, there's definitely a relationship here for someone that kind of fell apart. It's being balanced out. It's being balanced out, Sag. And this could actually be someone who resisted change. But this might also have to do with how you see them. you know, and that's part of what's going on, is that there is this really big energy about how you see things. And you know, this comes from a place of fear. You know, this definitely comes from a place of fear, because with the devil and the ace of swords, you know, you may like, you may actually be blocking something, new things from coming in, truth from coming in, but you know, believing that just because something was toxic before, it's going to be toxic again. And that's about breaking a pattern. That is about breaking a pattern, you know. And so, yeah, definitely with this energy, with the first quarter moon in Cancer, self-doubt, I just feel like, too, like, Sag, you may be so afraid of things in whatever area of your life, repeating a toxic pattern, that you don't take chances. And that's not a Sagittarius. That's not a Sagittarius, y'all. So let's see what you need to focus on with the Sagittarius. Free yourself of guilt and shame. Oh, okay. You're not the same person you are, Sag. You are able to see what's in store for the future. So it's calling for you to, I feel like there may be some conversations that actually allow you to release a lot of things that you've been holding on to. And this is so that you can, you know, have a fresh start for your future. Okay, now. So that's what I have for you, Sag. I hope this helps. Toodles.